What if I told you that the secret to transforming your entire life is hiding in plain sight, in this very moment, right now? Most people spend their whole lives searching for happiness, peace, and meaning in all the wrong places, while the answer has been with them all along. Today, we're going to explore how simple mindfulness practices can literally rewire your brain and change the way you experience reality itself. Let me start with something that happened to me a few years ago. I was sitting in traffic, late for an important meeting, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. My mind was racing with worst-case scenarios, my heart was pounding, and I could feel the anger building up inside me like a pressure cooker about to explode. Then something clicked. I asked myself a simple question: what am I doing right now, in this exact moment? And the answer was simple. I was sitting in a car, breathing, alive. The meeting hadn't happened yet. The consequences I feared were just figments of my imagination. In that moment, I discovered something powerful. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what's actually happening. It comes from our thoughts about what's happening. This is where mindfulness comes in. And trust me, this isn't some mystical concept reserved for monks on mountaintops. Mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Sounds easy, right? But here's the thing, we're absolutely terrible at it. Studies show that the average person spends almost half of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're currently doing. We're either replaying the past or rehearsing the future, and we miss the only moment that actually exists, this one. So why does this matter? Because when you're not present, you're not really living. You're like a ghost haunting your own life. Physically here, but mentally somewhere else entirely. Think about the last meal you ate. Can you remember how it tasted? Or were you scrolling through your phone, planning your next task, worrying about something that happened yesterday? This is what we do. We sleepwalk through our lives, and then we wonder why we feel disconnected, anxious, and unfulfilled. But here's the beautiful part. Your brain is incredibly plastic, meaning it can change and rewire itself based on what you practice. When you practice mindfulness, you're literally strengthening the parts of your brain associated with attention, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. You're weakening the parts associated with anxiety, stress, and reactive behavior. Scientists have used brain imaging to prove this. Regular mindfulness practice actually changes the physical structure of your brain. How incredible is that? Let's talk about the first transformative practice, mindful breathing. I know what you're thinking, breathing? I do that all day, every day. But do you really? When was the last time you actually paid attention to your breath? Your breath is always with you, from the moment you're born until the moment you die. It's the one constant in your life, and it's also the most powerful tool you have for anchoring yourself in the present moment. Here's what makes breathing so special. It's both automatic and controllable. Your body breathes without you thinking about it, but you can also consciously change your breathing. This makes it the perfect bridge between your conscious and unconscious mind, between your thoughts and your body. When you're anxious, your breath becomes shallow and rapid. When you're calm, it becomes deep and slow. But here's the magic. This relationship works both ways. By consciously slowing and deepening your breath, you can actually tell your nervous system to calm down. Try this right now, wherever you are. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 4 counts. Now exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. Do this 3 times. Notice how you feel. That shift you just experienced? That's you taking control of your state. You just used your breath to hack your nervous system. And you can do this anytime, anywhere, in a traffic jam, before a difficult conversation, when you're feeling overwhelmed. Your breath is always there, waiting to bring you back home to yourself. But mindful breathing isn't just about emergency stress relief. When you make it a daily practice, even just 5 minutes a day, you train your mind to be more focused and less reactive. You create space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Nazi concentration camps, said that between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space is our power to choose our response. Mindful breathing helps you find that space. The second practice that transforms your world is mindful observation. This is about training yourself to really see what's around you, not just glancing at things while your mind chatters away, but truly observing. We live in a world of incredible beauty and complexity, but we rarely notice it because we're too busy thinking. When was the last time you really looked at a tree? Really looked at it. Notice the texture of the bark, the way the light filters through the leaves, the subtle movements in the wind. Here's a practice you can try. Choose an object, any object. It could be a cup of coffee, a flower, a stone, whatever. Set a timer for 2 minutes and just observe it. Look at it as if you're seeing it for the first time. Notice its colors, its textures, its shape. If your mind wanders and starts thinking about other things, gently bring it back to the object. This simple practice does something profound. It breaks the constant stream of thinking and gives your mind a rest. It also trains you to be more present and appreciative of the ordinary things in life. One of my favorite teachers used to say that if you can find beauty in a simple pebble, you'll never be bored or dissatisfied again. Think about that. We're constantly seeking the next big thing, the next achievement, the next purchase, thinking that's what will make us happy. But happiness isn't out there waiting to be found. It's here, in the ability to be fully present with what is. When you practice mindful observation, you start to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. A cup of tea becomes a meditation. A walk in the park becomes an adventure. Life becomes richer, more vivid, more alive. The third transformative practice is mindful eating. This one is huge, and it's something almost nobody does anymore. Think about how you usually eat. You're probably doing something else at the same time, watching TV, scrolling through social media, working at your desk, or having a conversation. Food has become fuel, something we shove in our mouths while our attention is elsewhere. But eating is one of the most intimate things we do. We're literally taking the outside world and making it part of our body. Doesn't that deserve our full attention? Mindful eating means paying complete attention to the experience of eating. You start before you even take a bite, looking at your food, noticing its colors and textures, smelling it. Then, when you take a bite, you chew slowly, really tasting it, noticing all the different flavors and sensations. You put your fork down between bites. You pay attention to how your body feels, noticing when you start to feel satisfied. This practice changes everything about your relationship with food. First, you eat less because you actually notice when you're full instead of mindlessly overeating. Second, you enjoy your food more because you're actually tasting it. Third, you become more aware of how different foods make you feel, which naturally leads to healthier choices. But beyond all that, mindful eating teaches you something crucial about life. It teaches you that the quality of your experience depends on the quality of your attention. You could eat the most expensive meal in the world while distracted and barely enjoy it. Or you could eat a simple piece of fruit with full awareness and have it be a profound experience. The difference isn't in what you're eating, it's in how you're eating. And this applies to everything in life. The quality of your life isn't determined by what happens to you. It's determined by how present you are with what happens to you. Let's move to the fourth practice, mindful walking. Most of us treat walking as purely a means to get from point A to point B. We're in our heads, planning, worrying, reviewing, barely noticing that we're walking at all. But walking can be a powerful mindfulness practice. When you walk mindfully, you pay attention to the physical sensations of walking. You feel your feet touching the ground, feel the movement in your legs, notice your balance, and feel the air on your skin. Start by walking slower than normal. Feel each step. Notice the sensation of your heel touching the ground, then your foot rolling forward, then pushing off with your toes. Pay attention to the movement in your whole body, your arms swinging, your hips moving, your head balanced on your spine. When your mind wanders off into thoughts, and it will, gently bring it back to the sensations of walking. You can do this anywhere, walking from your car to your office, walking around your home, or taking a walk in nature. Nature walks are especially powerful for mindfulness because there's so much to observe. The sounds of birds, the the rustle of leaves, the feeling of sun or wind on your skin, the smell of earth or flowers. Mindful walking connects you to your body and to the world around you. It pulls you out of the constant mental chatter and grounds you in physical reality. There's also something profound about the metaphor of walking. Life is a journey, right? But we're so focused on the destination that we forget to actually experience the journey. We think we'll be happy when we get there, when we achieve that goal, when we get that promotion, when we find that relationship. But then we get there, and we immediately set another destination and keep rushing forward. Mindful walking teaches you to appreciate the journey itself, because the journey is all there is. The destination is just another point on the path. The fifth practice is mindful listening. This one will transform your relationships more than almost anything else you can do. True listening is rare. Most of the time when someone is talking to us, we're not really listening. We're thinking about what we're going to say next, or we're judging what they're saying, or we're thinking about something completely unrelated. We're waiting for our turn to talk, not truly hearing the other person. Mindful listening means giving someone your complete attention. You're not planning your response. You're not thinking about anything else. You're simply listening, trying to understand not just their words but the feelings and meaning behind them. You notice their tone of voice, their body language, the emotions they're expressing. You're fully present with them in that moment. When you practice mindful listening, something magical happens. People feel truly heard, maybe for the first time in a long time. And when people feel heard, they open up. Relationships deepen. Conflicts are resolved more easily. Understanding grows. But it's not just good for the other person, it's good for you too. When you truly listen, you learn things. You understand perspectives different from your own. You connect with other human beings on a deeper level. You break out of the prison of your own thoughts and enter into shared experience with another person. Try this in your next conversation. Give the person your full attention. Put away your phone. Make eye contact. Don't interrupt. Don't plan what you're going to say. Just listen. Really listen. Notice how different it feels. Notice how the other person responds. This simple practice can transform your relationships and help you connect with others in ways you never thought possible. Now let's talk about the sixth practice, and this one might be the most challenging, but also the most transformative. It's called mindful awareness of thoughts and emotions. Most people think they are their thoughts and emotions. When a thought appears in your mind, you believe it. When an emotion arises, you become it. You say things like, I am angry, I am sad, I am anxious. But here's the truth that mindfulness reveals. You are not your thoughts and emotions. You are the awareness that observes them. Think about it. If you can observe your thoughts, if you can notice that you're thinking, then who is doing the observing? There's a part of you that stands apart from your thoughts, a deeper awareness that watches them come and go like clouds passing through the sky. This awareness is your true self, and it's always calm, always present, always okay, regardless of what thoughts and emotions are passing through. When you practice mindful awareness of thoughts and emotions, you start to create distance between you and them. Instead of saying, I am anxious, you notice that there is anxiety present. Instead of believing every thought that pops into your head, you observe. There's a thought about the future, there's a judgment, there's a worry. This might sound like a small shift, but it's absolutely revolutionary. It means you don't have to be controlled by your thoughts and emotions anymore. They're just temporary visitors, not who you are. Here's how you practice this. Sit quietly and simply observe your mind. Don't try to stop your thoughts. That's impossible. Just watch them. Notice when a thought appears. Notice what kind of thought it is. Notice when it disappears and another one comes. Do the same with emotions. Notice when an emotion arises in your body. Where do you feel it? What does it feel like? Is it pleasant or unpleasant? Just observe it without judging it or trying to change it. What you'll discover is amazing. Thoughts and emotions are constantly changing. They arise and pass away on their own if you don't grab onto them and feed them with more thinking. That anxiety you thought would last forever? If you just observe it without resistance, it peaks and then fades. That angry thought? It loses its power when you see it as just a thought. not the truth. This practice gives you freedom. You realize you don't have to believe every thought or obey every emotion. You can choose how to respond. The seventh practice is mindful gratitude. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you or making a list of things you're grateful for, though those are fine practices. Mindful gratitude is about truly experiencing appreciation in your body and heart, not just thinking about it. It's about pausing throughout your day to really feel grateful for what's present in your life right now. Here's why this is so powerful. Your brain has a negativity bias. This was useful for our ancestors who needed to be constantly alert to threats. But in modern life, it means we naturally focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what's threatening. We take the good things for granted and fixate on problems. Gratitude practice rewires this bias. It trains your brain to notice what's good, what's working, what you have rather than what you lack. Try this practice. Several times throughout your day, pause for just 30 seconds and bring to mind something you're grateful for. It could be something big, like your health or your family, or something small, like the taste of your morning coffee or the fact that you have a warm bed to sleep in. But don't just think about it. Really feel it. Let the feeling of gratitude fill your chest. Smile. Let it be a full-body experience. What happens when you do this regularly? Your baseline level of happiness increases. You become more resilient to stress because you maintain awareness of what's good even when challenges arise. Your relationships improve because you appreciate people more and tell them so. You sleep better because you end your day with gratitude instead of worry. You become more generous and kind because an abundance mindset replaces a scarcity mindset. The eighth practice is mindful technology use. This one is critical in our modern world. Technology, especially smartphones and social media, is designed to be addictive. They hijack your attention and pull you out of the present moment constantly. How many times a day do you automatically reach for your phone without even deciding to? How often do you sit down to check one thing and suddenly realize 30 minutes have passed? Mindful technology use means being intentional about when and how you use technology. It means noticing the urge to check your phone and choosing whether to act on it rather than automatically responding. It means setting boundaries, like no phones at meals, no screens an hour before bed, or designating certain times to check email rather than constantly monitoring it. It means asking yourself before you pick up your phone, what am I looking for right now? Am I bored? Anxious? Avoiding something? What do I really need? Technology isn't bad. It's an incredible tool. But like any tool, it should serve you, not control you. When you use technology mindfully, you take back your attention and your time. You use it for what truly adds value to your life, and you put it away for everything else. This single change can give you hours of presence and peace back in your life. The ninth practice is mindful self-compassion. Most people are incredibly hard on themselves. We have an inner critic that constantly judges us, tells us we're not good enough, compares us to others, and beats us up over every mistake. We would never talk to a friend the way we talk to ourselves in our own heads. This harsh self-judgment creates immense suffering and actually makes it harder to change and grow because we're operating from a place of shame and inadequacy rather than love and strength. Mindful self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When you make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up, you acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. You speak to yourself kindly. You comfort yourself. You ask what you can learn rather than dwelling on what went wrong. Here's a practice. When you notice you're being harsh with yourself, pause. Put your hand on your heart and take a breath. Say to yourself something like, "This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself." It might feel awkward at first, but keep practicing. You're literally rewiring decades of harsh self-judgment. You're learning to be on your own side. And when you're on your own side, everything changes. You have more courage to try new things because failure isn't devastating. You have more energy because you're not wasting it on self-criticism. You're more authentic because you don't need to pretend to be perfect. The 10th practice is creating mindful transitions. We rush from one thing to the next all day long. From sleep to shower to breakfast to commute to work to meetings to lunch to more work to commute to dinner to TV to bed. And we do it all on autopilot. We never stop. We never pause. We never consciously shift gears. This creates a life that feels like being swept along by a current, out of control, reactive, and exhausted. Mindful transitions mean pausing between activities to consciously close one chapter and open the next. When you finish work, instead of immediately checking your phone or turning on the TV, take 2 minutes to sit quietly. Acknowledge what you accomplished. Let go of any stress or unfinished business mentally. Take a few deep breaths. Then consciously shift into your evening mode. What do you want to bring to the next part of your day? How do you want to be? You can create mindful transitions everywhere. Before you start your workday, sit in your car for a minute and set an intention for the day. Before a difficult conversation, pause and take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Before you eat, take a moment to appreciate your food. Before you go to sleep, do a brief review of your day and set it down. These tiny pauses might seem insignificant, but they add up to something profound. They give you back agency over your life. You're making conscious choices about how to move through your day rather than being bounced around like a pinball. Now I want to address something important. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't have time for all these practices. I'm too busy. And I get it. Life is demanding. But here's the thing. You don't need hours of meditation practice to benefit from mindfulness. You don't need to do all 10 practices. Start with 1. Start with 3 conscious breaths in the morning. Start with 1 mindful meal a week. Start with 1 mindful walk. What matters isn't doing everything perfectly. It's bringing more moments of presence into your life. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you practice mindfulness, you actually create more time. Not literally, of course, but experientially. Time slows down when you're present. A 10-minute mindful walk feels longer and more satisfying than an hour of distracted rushing around. You also become more efficient and focused, so you waste less time. And you start to see clearly how much time you're wasting on things that don't matter, which allows you to make better choices. Think of mindfulness practices like physical exercise. You wouldn't expect to get fit by thinking about exercise. You have to actually do it. And you wouldn't expect results after one workout. You have to be consistent. But if you stick with it, the results compound over time. Your capacity grows. What felt difficult at first becomes natural. And one day, you realize your whole life has shifted. You're calmer, more focused, more appreciative, more alive, more you. The transformation that mindfulness brings isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more fully yourself. Most of us are living as a tiny fraction of who we really are, lost in thoughts, controlled by habits, reactive, and distracted. Mindfulness wakes you up to your full capacity as a human being. It reveals the depth of peace and awareness that's always been within you, just covered up by mental noise. I want to leave you with one final thought. Your life is made up of moments. That's all it is. A collection of moments strung together. And each moment offers you a choice. You can be somewhere else mentally, lost in the past or future, or you can be here, fully alive to this unrepeatable moment. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for life to begin, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting to be happy. But life is happening now. It's always now. And you're missing it. Mindfulness practices give you the tools to stop missing your life. To wake up to the miracle of existence that's happening right in front of you, right inside you, in every single moment. The birds singing, the taste of water, the feeling of your own breath, the warmth of the sun, the sound of laughter, the beating of your own heart. This is it. This is your life. And you get to choose whether you're present for it or not. So here's my question for you. What's one mindfulness practice you're going to start with? Just one thing you'll commit to bringing more awareness to in your life. Will it be your breath, your meals, your walks, your conversations? Drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear which practice resonates with you and why. And if you're already practicing mindfulness, share your experience. What's changed for you? Your comment might inspire someone else to begin their own journey. Remember, transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath. Every time you choose presence over distraction, awareness over autopilot, you're rewiring your brain and reclaiming your life. You're stepping into the fullness of who you really are. And that's the most important work you'll ever do. If this video resonated with you, if you found value in these practices, hit that like button to let me know. And subscribe to this channel because we're going to keep exploring the deep questions of existence, the practices that transform lives, and the wisdom that helps us become more fully human. Your presence here matters. Your journey matters. And I'm honored to be part of it. Now take a deep breath. Feel yourself here in this moment, and go live your life with eyes wide open. Thank you for watching.